I'm M. Scott, mompreneur, wife, and most importantly to you, self-care advocate. Welcome to my channel. I am so glad you're here. If you're into self-care, want to learn more about it, or just curious about all the hype around it, then you're in the right place. Stay tuned to the end of this video because I have something very special for you. My definition of self-care is any conscious act done to create balance or take care of your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, or professional well-being. Ooh, that's good, right? That's nothing fancy or extra difficult to comprehend or understand, right? People often think it's spa days, bubble baths, or having a alone time, and that's just a drop in the bucket. Check this out. There are 5 elements of self-care. Physical, that's the most popular one. Then you have emotional, you have mental, you have professional, and you have spiritual. Now, when you really practice self-care, you tie them all together and make them work for you. So let's digest this. First, physical self-care. Now, that's the most popular one that many of us immediately think about when we think about practicing self-care. And those are things that I mentioned before, like spa days, getting massages, bubble baths, getting that alone time in, and the list goes on and on. I know there's things that you can immediately think about that would be physical self-care. But I can bet if you're watching this video, then you're probably not familiar with hiking, getting a mani-pedi, or simply just taking a walk in the park as physical self-care. Okay, you did, right? And that makes sense because those things are things that you're doing physically to take care of your well-being. But did you also know that they cross over to emotional and mental self-care? So emotional self-care is being aware of and then identifying your feelings, but also leaning into those feelings in a way that allows you to honor yourself. So getting a mani-pedi is physical, right? But it's also emotional because after you get a mani-pedi, you feel better about yourself and your appearance. And you constantly do it over and over because of that positive feeling. So it's physical, but it's emotional. See how all these elements tie together? Okay, like exercising is physical, but it can also be a form of mental self-care. Mental self-care is anything done to declutter your mind or reduce your stress levels. So for me, I'll speak for myself. Yes, I love to exercise, and it is a part of physical self-care. It's a physical activity that you're doing. It's improving your physical appearance, but it's also mental because it's reducing stress levels and it's also helping me to free my mind. When I'm exercising, I'm concentrating on my breathing. I'm trying to get through that last set. I'm making sure that I'm doing the exercises properly. I'm also concentrating and making sure I can get through that last minute while I'm on incline and trying to run. See, this is all physical things, but I'm freeing my mind and I'm not thinking about home. I'm not thinking about what I have to do for my business. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just present in the moment. And that is mental health. That's mentally freeing me and reducing my stress levels. Okay, so let's talk about 2 of the lesser commonly discussed forms of self-care. And these are the last 2. Professional and spiritual. Spiritual self-care is what nurtures your spirit. It's what allows you to be free to think bigger than yourself and beyond what you can see. Some examples of spiritual self-care are going to church, meditating, and even connecting with people that have the same faiths and beliefs as you. Lastly, we have professional self-care, and I had never heard of this term before I started doing self-care research for myself a few years ago. Professional self-care is what's done to create balance for you in your work life or professional setting. Simple examples of these would include staying organized, taking a break, and separating work from home. So, I hope this helps you understand more about what self-care is. If you need or want more examples, more clear definitions, more tips, or you just want to have something at your grasp for reference about all things self-care, then you want to click the link in the description bar because I created an absolutely free guide. It's a really quick read and it has everything that you need to know about self-care. It's titled, How to Flourish in Life Through Self-Care. If you got any good info, like this video, and even want more, then like and comment. I'd love for you to subscribe so we can stay connected, and you can also follow me on Instagram. The link will be in the description bar. See you next week where we will talk about Is self-care selfish? Keep practicing self-care and watch things change for the better one day at a time.